How's it looking back there, Colin?
It's great.
Okay, check it out. I'm excited to try these out. Well, that's not exactly what we're talking about today. In the last Comanche video, we took it out to Tokerville Falls and tested how the two-wheel drive did on it. And needless to say, it needs four-wheel drive. So that's what we're doing today. Today we're going to be doing an axle swap on the Comanche. I have a 1996 Jeep Cherokee that we're going to be pulling those axles off of. So we need to pull the Jeep in here, get the axles basically gutted off of it, and we'll go from there. I'm going to call this the Blueberry because it's blue. A lot of people will call it purple though. But I picked it up from a guy in Las Vegas. It has less than 100,000 miles, and all we're doing right now is swapping the axles over and putting them on that. We're gonna be taking the front and rear axle because I don't have to worry about matching gearing if I do that, as well as this has a stronger rear end than the Dana 30 or 35, whatever the Comanche has in it. So we need to get this in the shop, and I don't wanna push it, but luckily that drives.
Good.
That looks great. So we have this Blueberry pulled into the shop now, and we need to get the axles out from under it. That's cool. A lot of you guys don't have a car lift like me, and so jack stands and a jack is the way to do it. Wow, that's the only rust I've seen on this. It's right in there. There's one. So now that I have the wheels off and we can actually see what's going on here, I'm gonna start from the front and I'm gonna work my way back. We're gonna start by disconnecting the sway bar links, we're gonna disconnect the steering, and we're gonna disconnect the track bar. Should we get the whiteboard out? So I like lists, and this door looks like a prime canvas for one. So for the front axle, that looks right. So to do everything we just listed, we have to go to the toolbox where it has everything we'll need. Ah, how convenient. The first thing we need, coveralls. All right. I have the sway bar disconnected, steering disconnected, the track bar, so now this can move side to side. Now I have shocks, drive line, and control arms. And then it will just fall onto the ground, but we're not gonna let it fall because I'm gonna be gentle with it. I have this arm, which is the lower control arm, and this upper control arm here. Once I get those undone, the axle will be ready to fall out. I've never had very good luck with these uppers. This is not good. There we go. Okay, shocks. This thing might come down. One time, before the Rubicon had the 1-ton axles, since these were my limiting strap, it broke both of these lower shock bolts off and my axle over-rotated under. Ripped my brake line off and I was coming off this ledge. If I didn't pull the e-brake and then downshift, I would have died. Yeah, we fixed that. That's not ever gonna happen again to me, I hope. That was one of the scariest moments in my life. That's it, I think. That's so cute and little. There's a couple things we need to do to it before it goes back under the Comanche. Just a couple durability fixes, because this is a tiny axle. But I also think it's lunchtime. What do you say, Larry? You think I can ride in your Jeep since I have these coveralls on? I'll buy, yeah. And we're back from lunch. Time to get suited up and do the back axle now. Sank a lot farther than I thought it would. So, This list that I just wrote on the door is everything we need to do to the back. A little bit shorter than the front axle, so hopefully it goes quicker. Let's get to it. These are in excellent shape. That's off. Of course I forget the brake line. The most important piece. So this was rusted on underneath there. So far it's been the most difficult part of this whole ordeal, which isn't bad, considering. There it is. I like it. So now that we've pulled the axles off of this Jeep, we need to get it out of here. I don't know what other way to put this, but don't try this at home. Hey Colin, can I use your help guiding this thing?
Hey, you're using the engine hoist.
Yeah, and I'm hoisting the engine and transmission and hood. Okay, that's all you get, Larry. Go, Larry. It's your birthday. Larry's always wanted to do this to one of my Jeeps. It's been his lifelong dream. We're fulfilling dreams. He thinks his forklift's got what it takes. All right, that looks really good. Go ahead and try to pick it up. I doubt this mirror will survive, but that won't be anything missed. That's pretty solid right there.
You want to load this in the back of Colin's truck?
Yeah, Colin, pull your truck up here. We're putting it in.
Yeah.
Come this way more. Okay, come forward. How's it looking back there, Colin?
It's great.
Okay, you're good, Larry.
Got like 2 inches on this side.
Okay, come this way. Do you know where we're putting this, Colin?
Nope. Up there. It's gonna get blown off with the next windstorm.
Well, Larry's just making my stuff harder to get to, but more out of his way. You're fine. It's just the mirror that was already broken. So we're done getting the axles out from the other Jeep, and now it's time to pull this into the shop and pull the axles out from under it. I always hate doing this to a running, driving vehicle, but we have to make it better, right? And to do that, it requires change. So we're gonna lift it up, put it on jack stands, pull the front and rear axle out, and then start seeing what needs to happen to get those other ones in. Nice and high. This is how tall I want it. Holy cow. A 200-pound load rating? I don't even know if I can step on that. That is solid. Now that we got it on jack stands, it's time to pull the tires off and do everything we did to the other Jeep. Yeah, just repeat, rinse and repeat. Same lug nuts, different Jeep. One down. And there we go. I'm just thinking about how I want to do this. Do I want to get the brake oil or the brake fluid on me now or later? I think we'll do it later. But we have to find the nut on the top of the steering. It's underneath all of this grime right there. So, for whatever reason, somebody decided they needed to take the sway bar off for a second, I guess, and they couldn't get the bolts back in for it, so they viciously ripped their way through this frame rail here. Right there, all torn out. So that's pretty impressive, if I'm being honest. Might be the rats. Gonna having a barbecue, having a cookout right now. One thing about an oil leak you can always count on is your nuts and bolts. They're just not gonna be seized. They might not be tightened to spec or holding to spec, but they're certainly not holding on where you need a torch. This is totally the correct way. If someone has told you otherwise, you have been misinformed. So we have sway bar, steering, track bar, all undone. We need brakes, shocks, and links. Or control arms. Come on, you don't want to be here. Let's go. I'm really happy with how things are going on this. Nothing's really fighting. You can tell it's from 1988. There seems to be like a certain age where bolts decide that they're no longer bolts and that they just want to stay. And you have to break them out or melt them out. It doesn't seem like we've hit that age yet. Then again, this has been in the desert its entire life. These look better than some bolts I've gotten in the past as a replacement. I guess we need more oil dry. Well, that's probably why my brakes suck. Let's go get some oil dry before that happens again. And this one doesn't have any. Got it. That makes sense. Prepare for it and it never comes. I like to prime them first, going forward. Just every single one I've done, I've accidentally had it going forward. So I'm happy I haven't broken any. Let's do this very carefully. I have no idea how these were holding up the front of the Jeep. These are so tiny. This is great. Now we can access that upper control arm. Okay. Nice. Being difficult. I see. Ouch. There you go. Front axle out. So inexplicably on the Comanche, they put the leaf springs on the bottom of the axle rather than on top like the Cherokee. So it's really easy to get lift out of the back because all you have to do is put the axle on the other side. So that's how we're gonna lift the back of this thing, you'll see.
We're not gonna use the forklift?
Oh, we'll use the forklift. We'll lift it sky high with Larry's forklift. How do I get the spare tire down? Right here? Darn.
You have the special tools for that?
Yep. No spare tire is safe with me around. Ew. Can't believe I did that.
I can't.
Did it get you? This is beautiful. This X-brace right here, that's gorgeous. I love that thing so much. So this system right here, I'm not very familiar with. I know it's hooked up to the brakes, but I don't know what its purpose is. So if you know, leave a comment, please. Unfortunately, this axle just doesn't drop out, so it's got to come out over the top of the leaf springs, or I got to drop the leaf springs, and I don't want to drop the leaf springs. So if you need a spare tire mount for Comanche, let me know. Okay, let's do the brake first, and then we'll do the shocks, and then we'll do the e-brake. Look at this, right here. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to disconnect the e-brake on this. Finally got the e-brake disconnected, but we have the main brake line and then just these U-bolts and, oh, and the drive line. And then this thing can slide out of here. Here's a small hammer and my punch. Whoa. Gotta love brakes. Wow, that is stuck. Glad we're replacing that anyway, because it's past due for sure. Look at it, look at it right here. Okay. That's not how you're supposed to do that, but. It's perfectly balanced. I'm gonna push out that way. We all knew that was gonna happen, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, since we're safe around here, so I'm gonna pick up this side. Quite pleased. So just to give you a quick rundown of what we did, we pulled the axles out of the Comanche to be replaced with four-wheel drive axles out of the Cherokee from earlier, and those axles are right over here. So these axles still need a little bit of work before they're ready to go in, but I've got errands to go run, so that's gonna have to wait for another day. Thanks for watching.